What will happen to P. Diddy in prison, and can money save him, basically keep him safe? Now, as we know, for example, R. Kelly, sex trafficking with all those girls and all that disgusting shit, he had the shit beat out of him. And that was just light work. But what they don't show you that goes on behind the scenes is you got two different levels of offenders when it comes to this sex trafficking, people who abuse kids and do it for their own personal gains and financial gain. Straight predator, rapist, scumbag. There's those that are like Dr. Nassar, who used it as a power trip and used his profession to get his demonic pleasures, but he doesn't have enough pull to really make it happen. So in federal protective custody, they stabbed him 37 times. The doctor who raped and molested over 300 gymnasts, women in the Olympics, the Olympic doctor. Then you got people like R. Kelly and P. Diddy, whose cases are everywhere, on every blog, every site, period. Just like when Jeffrey Epstein. But that goes to show you that a guy like Jeffrey Epstein that was in jail in a suicide wing in a turtle suit. What that means is you have no property. Your jailhouse, prison clothes are basically paper thin so you can't kill yourself. And you have two cameras monitoring what's going on. That was a high level hit, as you could see, or suicide, whatever you want to believe. But regardless, two cameras on a suicide wing with turtle clothes. He was able to get 27 pairs of clothes and strangle himself with nobody watching on camera, and the cameras broke. That just goes to show you the level of corruption, and whatever they want to happen in prison can happen. Now with P. Diddy and R. Kelly, if they're in some deep shit like Epstein was, then that's a possibility as well. But if they're just fucking over regular dumbass motherfuckers in the music industries, like these Nickelodeon, these Abercrombie, and all these evil motherfuckers, but they were just doing it to their own people. They were doing it to singers and actors, and they were just using it as one to fulfill their demonic, sick pleasures, raping young kids of all sexes, doing it right in our faces, and then also using it to gain money and access and power in the industry that they were in. Now, Diddy has also fucked over guys like Sean Poe, Craig Mack, Black Rob, and many other people from Brooklyn and Queens. You know, there's a history of it. So when you see people like Diddy and R. Kelly, even like a guy like Chris Watts has so much media, everything behind it, money can't save you. The only thing that saves you is time. But the reality is, the more harder you are to get, the more in danger you are. Because organizations in there are very, very disciplined, organized. They're all over the entire country, and they're in the business of extortions, drugs, gambling, murder. That's their trade. So when they see somebody that's a chomo, he cannot be protected by any organizations. His race can't protect him. Matter of fact, his race will probably try to hit him up first for the embarrassment that he did. But when they can't get to you, they immediately start fucking with your food because they want you to go psych. They see him detoxing, he's hurting, because he starts saying they're poisoning my food. And that's when the inmate says, yeah, you ate shit. Whatever it was, just to fuck with him. It's mental warfare, because they can't physically get to him, but they can physically get to your family. And if you think an organization that extorts people for hundreds of dollars in canteen and soups and thousands of dollars in drug debts won't go after somebody for millions, one of the easiest to find people in the world, and one of the most hated person in the world, which is P. Diddy. And the CEOs, you drop 50 grand to one of them, half of them are rolling with the organizations from the beginning. They're briefed on to hate chomos and prison politics. A lot of these CEOs have reverse Stockholm syndrome. They want to be like the inmates, the convicts. And when you have organizations that are always trying to give you what's called mob fatigue, you can't be hard anymore. You can't be tough anymore. We are going to go after your family, and you're going to pay, or we're just going to keep fucking with your food, fucking with your family. And the second you say anything to anybody, because bruises and stab wounds, yes, that will make everything hot and it will be over with. But poisoning, going after your family with no proof, knowing that if you speak up, your family will be hurt if you don't pay this amount of money, That's what you are. You're a bank until further notice. Like I say, time doesn't exist in prison, only opportunity. And this is the beginning of the opportunity. Then time goes by, people forget, generations go on, and they take you out. But they want to squeeze you dry. They want to torture you for what you did, but they can't physically do it, so they mentally fuck with you. They're shooting shit in your cell just constantly. And the second you speak up, the CO says, he's psych. He needs to go to a suicide cell and get watched under observation. Sound familiar? It's a dirty game. And everything that's coming out just shows you our entire childhood from Nickelodeon, Abercrombie and Fitch. I mean, all these people have just been hurting kids, raping kids, and doing it with a smile, trying to tell us how we should live better. That's the shit that really bothers the world, when you have people like that act like they made it and they're trying to give you a success story while you're in prison. And meanwhile, you're over here hurting kids in the worst way for your own pleasures and your own financial gain. Well, welcome to prison, where extortion happens for a pack of cigarettes. And you mean we can get hundreds of thousands of dollars? Reach out to your family. They're all on some weird shit. And if you say anything, we give a CEO 30 grand. They put you in a psych unit. And the whole news hears how crazy you are, how much drugs you're on. Whatever news they want out, they can get out as long as you don't have any stab wounds on you. It's a dirty game. And I'm talking about hurting kids. But that's what you get, period. Leave our kids alone. Stay out, stay free. Us.